This is your announcer, Shannon Saint Mainframe, welcoming you to our IP Livecast. How are everyone's New Year's resolutions doing? Mine is already shot to hell. I resolved to finally get a valet parking space for my new Cybertruck. And, I guess that guy wasn't a valet. Sad. Our IP Livecast starts now.
Whoa. Shannon always in the eye of the storm.
She's like the Forrest Gump of AIs. She interacts with every world event.
Yeah. Welcome to RIP Livecast. It's a new year. It's the same podcast. 2025 kicks off with 801 episodes of the Livecast at your disposal. Well, this is the 801st.
Right.
And
unless you count episode 0, got to say that every time.
And then like some of the Patreons that we unlocked for free. There's more than 801 available.
But it's like studio albums. We have 801 studio albums and one demo.
Some rarities compilations, live album or two.
B-sides.
Yeah.
But besides that.
Happy belated birthday, Darren.
Thank you so much. I've gone in my life from loving my birthday to like, oh, fuck, I'm getting old, to like now retroactively loving my birthday again.
How long did the, oh, fuck, I'm getting old phase last?
I think from like 35 to 45.
Okay.
And then I was like, whatever. And then I had a little twinge when I turned 50. I was like, that's a big fucking number, you know. But now I'm like, I'm over it. I'm just dedicated to living the best life that I can with whatever decrepit years I have left here. So far, oh, it's so nice of you to say. Sometimes I feel old, but I try to put that out of my mind. So I feel mostly young most of the time.
Nice.
Now I see your caption says you're on day 3 of your food coma, but what have you been eating?
Nothing. Just it's all from the birthday dinner that I gorged myself upon, and the whole day just eating basically whatever the hell I wanted to. I actually went out to dinner with my ex-wife and had a great time. Went to get Indian food and just ate a ton of food. We did a bang bang sort of, but not really. A bang bang has to be together. Not that kind of bang bang. Purely platonic relationship, and it's mutually much more enjoyable than our marriage. But I have we went to Roll and Roaster.
Oh, nice. You spun the wheel?
I spun the wheel and I only got $5 I'm back to my old ways. I had 2 years in a row where I won. I have 25 for the first time ever. You have a big wheel you spin and it has from $5 to $25 on it in store credit. So I got fives my entire life. I think I spun it maybe a dozen times and I got fives. And I finally, 2 years ago, hit the 25, and I was out of my mind with joy. Next year, I went back, I got a 10. And I was like, I'm on a fucking roll, baby. and this time, I'm back to fives. But, you know, but gorged myself there. Went to see the movie Nosferatu. And then we went to an nice Indian dinner.
Where'd you go for Indian?
This place called Jalsa, which is really beautiful. It's like a catering hall on middle of Coney Island Avenue in the middle of nowhere. And they do Indian weddings. They do all kind of stuff, even bar mitzvahs and everything. Like they do anything you could think of. I'm not giving a plug, but I am giving a plug. Unpaid plug. Wonderful food. Lovely like staff. The owner is there, comes and chats with you. And, you know, of course, my ex-wife is Indian, so of Indian descent. She's an American, obviously. I hate that. She hates that too. So I don't want to like say she's Indian. Like that's such an American thing to say. But and they just chatted it up, like, you know, immediately they hit it off. So beautiful. They have a garden in the back. It's crazy. And excellent food. Can't stop eating the food. Huge portions.
What did you treat yourself to?
I had some goat korma with butter naan, and we had some Hakka noodles, which is a specific like Guyanese thing, which is weird that they had it in an Indian restaurant. She looked at the menu because she's from her parents are Guyanese. Says, "Oh my god, they have Hakka noodles!"
And what's specific about them?
It's like sort of like Chinese mixed with desi food because like of all the Chinese influence in the area from building the Panama Canal and all that stuff. So there was a lot of Asian people there, and they influenced Guyanese food too. There's there's like it's like lo mein basically, but with Indian spices. There's a lot of that. It is wonderful. There's a lot of that kind of food in the area. So, and they had it on the menu. Most Indian restaurants don't have that type of thing. So, yeah, we got a bunch of stuff. Lots of cake with the Cold Stone.
Nice.
What shake? Yeah, that's Stone Cold.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Anyway,
where's that? Is there a Cold Stone in South Brooklyn?
It's across from the movie theater, Sheepshead Bay.
Oh, okay, right, okay. How is that Sheepshead Bay Theater? I haven't been there in a while.
It's the absolute definition of mid. It's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not. It doesn't blow you away or anything. It's perfectly fine.
How was Nosferatu?
I loved it. Okay. She wasn't a big fan. It's a very artsy fartsy movie, but I like that kind of thing, But it is genuinely scary too. But like, you got to be. If people are going in to see it, like thinking it's going to be jump scares and shit, it's not. It's like a very artistically gothic horror movie. It's typical Robert Eggers movie. People love him or hate him,
Is he the one who did The Northman?
He did The Northman and The Witch and The Lighthouse.
The only one that I've seen is The Northman, and I did not like that one. So that's my only.
I would say that's his weakest. Movie.
Okay.
Yeah. The Lighthouse is great. The Witch is fantastic.
Who's in that? Who's the star of that?
That's Anna Taylor-Joy.
Okay.
And there's not really anyone else famous in it. I think they're all kind of like character actors, but she's the big star of it.
And that guy lives here, right? He lives in Brooklyn, I think. Robert.
I don't know where he lives. I know he's from Brooklyn or New York. Yeah. That'd be wild if he actually lives next door to Rob or something.
I mean, it's possible.
He's a very eccentric guy.
How so?
He's just he has very unique kind of mannerisms when he does interviews, and he's unlike a lot of people compare him to Kubrick, like the way he directs and stuff.
Wow.
And he's clearly a very, very influenced by the Witch is almost telling the story of The Shining, but putting it in the Pilgrim times. So he does takes a lot of things from Kubrick, but he, opposite of Kubrick, loves to talk about his shit and what stuff means in his movie, which Kubrick was like a hermit.
He wanted the mystery.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, he does live in Brooklyn. So
wow, where in Brooklyn?
Yeah, that I cannot find, but I assume near Rob.
He's not in a cell next to Diddy and Ghislaine.
Oh no! Oh, speaking of which, so my wife went to a party on New Year's Eve for a little while, and she took a cab home, and the cab avoided the highway, so it drove down 3rd Avenue right past that detention center. And apparently there was 50 to 100 people partying outside the detention center, giving Luigi a little New Year's Eve party.
Oh, I thought you were saying a Diddy party outside.
No, well, she assumed it was Luigi based.
Oh, sure. I mean, now that you say it, I keep forgetting Luigi's in there.
Yeah. Rob, you missed out.
Keep forgetting.
I guess in my mind, he's free. I want him to be free, but I can't, I want to imprison him in my mind space.
Eating all the hash browns he can eat.
But that's a good point, Rob. I don't want his peen, so I don't think of it that you know exactly what your peen radar is like.
It's not his peen that I want, baby.
Right. Your peen is like a radar pointing right at the jail.
Do you think he's cut or uncut, Rob?
Oh. Probably cut.
Yeah, he's
an American. You think he shaves his butthole, or is it fuzzy?
I think it's a furry, fuzzy butthole.
A furry Italian butthole.
Yeah, you could tell he has hairy legs.
He seems well groomed. I mean, the man is a very hairy man based on his eyebrows, but doesn't appear to be very hairy. He's carefully grooms his face.
The shirtless photo, there wasn't chest hair, was there?
I imagine, yeah, right. There wasn't. But I imagine it's the kind of thing where he's fuzzy. I think that's his hairy level. And I feel like there's even smooth guys where they end up having very hairy butts and they have to maintain them.
Is that a disappointment? I thought you were very clean from your chest shaving, and then there's some shit going down there.
It depends. Sometimes it depends how maintained it is. If it's a little too long, if you could start braiding it, it's a little much. And it's just I think I've mentioned this on the show before. You know, the hair literally gets in the way. It can make certain penetration seem a little more painful.
Because your dick is like pulling on the hair as it's pounding through.
Exactly.
Does that make you feel like a bigger man though when you do that? And
I don't
like,
feel it
ouch,
really
ouch,
one
ouch?
way or the other.
No, but I'm saying if they like sort of squeal or say it hurts, does that turn you on?
Yes, but it's at my detriment because that means that they can only take so much. I want them to be relaxed and enjoy it and open up.
Do you
be able to receive more of the rubber?
Do you ever have indentions on the head of your dick from the hair pulling the skin back as you pound through?
No.
No? That would be fun. It would be like the Cincinnati Bengals logo across the head of your cock. Just like waves, like little tiger waves.
Nothing like that, no.
Then you're not doing
like
it hard
tiger waves of duty sometimes.
Oh, what?
That's about it. Oh, accidents happen.
Isn't that the lyric in America the Beautiful? Tiger waves of duty.
So I just Robert Eggers did once live in a townhouse in Park Slope.
There you go.
He was featured in the show Boardwalk Empire, apparently.
Wow. So there you go, Rob. You can
now it's on the market. Maybe I'll move in there.
Probably do Pilates.
It was on the market in 2018, so I guess it's been a while.
How far from you? Walking distance?
I mean, relatively, yeah, sure.
All right, so you got to get in there.
Got to see what's up.
Get in there, free Luigi, and bring him over to Robert's town.
Maybe Robert Eggers was at the
Luigi party.
I will fuck your butts.
I feel like I'm not sure if I mentioned this on the show, but I remember when we discussed the perp walk and his sentencing hearing, I was questioning like, wow, how did he get a haircut and his eyebrows?
That is weird.
And it turns out that fellow prison inmates gave him a cut, made sure he was, quote, taken care of. It's like a message sent to the outside world that he's safe in here. Prisoners respect him. And there was a report that, his commissary was huge because a lot of supporters have been just dumping cash in his commissary. And he's a smart guy. He's sharing it with inmates.
He's a socialist through and through, Rob.
And in turn, they're giving him protection.
See, all right, and I believe that happened. But I still don't think that it was more than just the eyebrow cut. Like there's a lot of stuff that doesn't match up from those photos, I'm still on that.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm just saying, now that he looked in better groomed shape coming out of prison after a week than going in. That's all I was saying.
Agreed.
I wasn't saying at all anything related to the evidence or the lack of evidence, which I think there has yet to be definitive proof. Other than, hey, believe us that this is the, which is not definitive proof, that he did it. There's no smoking gun, quite literally.
I also think, like, what happens now with all this adulation if he's not the guy?
Yeah, that's my question, Rob. Are you not attracted to him anymore?
I mean, the attraction, sure.
I'm not attracted to him because he murdered a man, allegedly.
Stop.
What do you mean?
Why?
Probably isn't it an intertwining of the two things? I'm not saying you don't find them physically attractive. I'm just saying, like, doesn't that make it better?
That
he's a hero?
It has no bearing on if I find him attractive or not.
Okay, fair enough. So if he was the CEO, would you find him attractive? Let's say he got shot by somebody and survived.
Sure.
You find him equally
yes, sure. I said I would hate fuck Andrew Tate. I mean, come on. What better example of a worse personality than where I look completely past it just to observe the physical because he has certain physical traits that I find attractive.
Because he looks like just incredible.
I mean, I agree with that. I can relate that to a hetero relationship also. Like there'd be women I find like Hillary Clinton as a young woman. I found
you love bringing that up.
It's a go-to example for this thing that we're talking about. But
Wow,
but
you really want to fuck Hillary?
I mean, she's on it. I don't really think about it all that. Plus, she's
Sounds like
horrible.
you do. No.
Her physicality matches her life now, but she's old and decrepit. But what I am saying though is, if someone was attractive, a woman was attractive, and also like a wonderful person, that heightens it for me.
Would you fuck Meghan McCain?
I don't find her physically attractive.
You don't like
that's
that
the
rack?
problem. No, it's just the rack. Like, that's the thing. Like, the rack has to be integrated to a full.
It has to be connected to something that's also attractive.
It has to be a part of a whole. Well, that's not the best choice.
She probably has Michael Ian Black stories she can share with you.
All right, so let her text me on that.
Whoopi, she could tell you how Whoopi is in real life.
The rack, like, I'm very picky about that. It's not just bigger is better. I think we've discussed this before, but
fair.
big is big breasts are an asset for sure. But there's a certain type of big breasts. Otherwise, I'd prefer small, nicer breasts.
Megyn Kelly?
I can't really picture what her breasts look like.
No, I'm just saying in general.
She's starting to look a little haggard now, but like 10 years ago, yes.
So back when Roger Ailes was hitting on her, you would have.
I mean, that would be a very off-putting to think about, but to be in the same tree in the forest that he's been in.
I don't know if he's been in there, but he tried at least.
Well, come on. She had that job a long time, bro.
It's true. She just played hard to get. She strung him along, and finally he's like, I don't think this Megyn Kelly lady's ever going to have sex with me.
But yeah, I do think she's attractive. Was attractive. Tommy Lahren, I think she's attractive.
Yeah.
But just like Rob, like we're saying, but your right there sums up how I feel about it. Like, I'd be like, but she looks good, so fuck it. But like, her attitude, if she was someone I ideologically agreed with, it would probably heighten it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'd bone that wheelchair kid, Hawthorne, whatever his name is.
Madison Cawthorn.
Madison
Cawthorn.
Yeah, I think you've said
Hawthorne
that on
Heights.
the show before.
Yeah,
Would you fuck him in the eye socket?
No, he'd have nowhere to run.
Well, what about the congressman with the eye patch? Would you fuck him?
No, I don't find him attractive.
Isn't that the one? I thought they were the same guy.
No, what's that guy's name?
With the eye socket?
That was the guy who beefed with Pete Davidson.
Yeah,
right?
what's his
what
name?
was his name?
I thought that was Madison. I thought that was
no.
Who's the eye socket guy?
Dan Crenshaw.
Dan Crenshaw.
Oh yeah, sorry, Dan. You already got enough problems.
Cawthorn, Crenshaw. It's very close.
Madison Cawthorn looks like a gay porn actor,
and sounds like one too.
One?
Yeah,
the name fits.
Not a specific one, but definitely like a specific studio.
Raw horn.
That's good. Yeah, we know why he's in that wheelchair, don't
Look
we?
how happy he is. It's because you fucked him too hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone did. Is there like wheelchair scenes? Have you seen one of these?
There's gotta be.
Is there? Sorry, there has to be a fictionalized wheelchair scene, but like a real guy who's crippled in that way, like who has a.
I'm not familiar with
injury.
any disabled mainstream gay porn stars.
That's a shame.
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
If you could bang the shit out of them, they won't feel it. If they're paralyzed in a certain way.
Wouldn't that be sad if a dude had like a foot-long cock and he was paralyzed from the waist down, so he couldn't even get it hard, just flopping around doing nothing with it?
Is that true? I've read that like paraplegics, like the blood can still flow to the penis, they just can't feel it. They can't feel the sexual sensation. It's
Rob,
like a useless boner.
Let's get Madison on the line and ask him.
Or maybe it differs from person to person. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, worst comes to worst, maybe they can donate their cock to someone who needs it.
Yeah. The old elephant transplant trunk. There was a joke about that. It's kind of slipping my mind what the punchline is, but the guy gets his an elephant trunk grafted onto where his penis used to be. And I can't remember the punchline is about grabbing peanuts or something at a cocktail. He's like, I can't stop eating. I keep shoving peanuts into my mouth. Something like that. Whatever. You get the idea. The sex is great, but I can't stand eating all these peanuts. Something like that.
Just got to shove a couple peanuts into the vagine. Get them out of there with the trunk. Does that porn exist?
Elephant trunk penis?
A woman's just stuffing peanuts inside of her.
No.
Let's make that AI.
Rob, can we get Anne Frank loaded
No.
up with peanuts in her genitals.
Oh, that's already too far.
Too far.
I think Rob's doing it right now, but
No, I'm not.
it is too far. I'm just saying.
I want to mention that Kyle wishes Darren a happy birthday. Back it.
After this. Thank you. Very happy New Year to you. And as someone who is born on New Year's, as I said in our Discord, my birthday, I am on the high New Year's birthday wishes committee as someone born on the 1st of January. So if I wish it to you, it will happen. And I bestow all of you in the audience a very, very happy 2025. And thank you for listening and watching.
Oh, so that means it counts.
It counts. Listen, there's one cool thing about being a New Year's baby, and that's, well, two cool things. It is an icebreaker with certain people. If you want to, that's like a conversation piece, how I was born, the hospital thing, my mother actually got in the cab because there were no cabs available. Her friend threw herself in front of a cab to stop it, to get me to I was coming out like right before the ball dropped was when her labor started.
Oh, wow. In the cab?
Well, it started as they were just like trying to get, she started around 11:30, let's say, and they were trying to get to the hospital. I didn't come out in the cab. Bellevue Hospital. But my mother planned to have the baby delivered by a professional and all that, like a doctor privately. But I was
Instead, you ended up in Bellevue.
I was 2 weeks premature, so she just had to go to the hospital.
Did she have a hypnobirthing plan in place?
Call back. That's what Noah did. If you didn't listen last week, no, I don't. Oh no! That's such an innocent picture, but it has such a negative connotation.
Well, I didn't put in the part about her putting the peanuts in her vagina. I just said Anne Frank with peanuts.
I know. We just set the mind picture too well.
She looks so
I'm curious.
happy.
So, was your mom already in the city? How did you end up in Bellevue?
We lived in the city when I was born.
Oh,
she lived on 3rd and 33rd Street at the
Oh,
time
wow.
of my birth. So, and for 6 months, still lived there until she moved back to Brooklyn.
Why did she decide to move back to Brooklyn?
I honestly don't know. I don't remember ever talking to her about that. I can ask and give you an update.
Yeah.
I think maybe the costs of having a child, and she was living in Manhattan with a roommate, and then she moved back with her parents.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I'm just guessing that.
My mom revealed to me recently that there was an opportunity when I was 10 to move to like public housing in the city, like right by Gramercy on like 23rd and 1st or 2nd Avenue.
Was that like Stuyvesant Town? No.
Not quite Stuyvesant Town, but like right by it. Yeah.
I work over there all the time.
And she was just like, nah, who would want to live there at the time? She thought, and I was just like, oh my God. How different my life would have been if I had grown up in Manhattan. If I had spent my teen years, I should say.
We wouldn't know you, probably.
Yeah.
Is that what you wish for? Every day you wake up wishing that you'd somehow never met me and Darren?
I mean, it all worked out all right. I'm not too bummed out about it, despite meeting you, Sid.
Wow. Hurtful.
Thanks for not including me as like a birthday present.
Well, I don't regret meeting you, Darren.
Oh, thank you. The feeling is mutual. I don't regret meeting you either.
But it did make me wonder, like, what could have been if I did grow, like, who would I have?
You could have been in that
with
front.
Yeah, exactly.
But
right.
is it?
Would I have been a hoodlum in the East Village?
You'd have like a 3-foot long beard right now. You'd be talking about the old New York and like complaining about how CBGBs used. It was just stop being cool when I got old enough to go the fuck out of here. But like, isn't public housing kind of shitty? Like, would that have been a better upbringing, or is it like some kind of public housing I'm not aware of?
Like, is it like the project or?
Yeah, I'm not quite clear. I'm not quite clear if it was like public or just kind of like a rent-controlled building. I'm not quite sure what it was.
Subsidized?
But I don't. Yeah, like a subsidized thing. I don't think it was the projects though. It definitely wasn't that.
Yeah, because I can't picture anything on First and around there that's like public housing, like real.
Right by
public
the BQE, there's like a lot of high rises.
You mean the FDR? But that's down.
I mean
like,
FDR. Yeah.
That's down like it stops around.
Oh, that's like
14th,
Avenue
though.
D. You're right. That's not First Avenue. Right. Maybe my mom has it.
Stops. It's from 14th all the way down to like the South Street Seaport.
Hmm.
So maybe it was 14th Street or something.
Oh, right. From 14th to 23rd, that's Stuyvesant Town. You're right. Anyway, we're giving you a nice little geography lesson of New York City, folks. But it would have been crazy. It would have been crazy. Not that I really enjoyed going to Murrow. I think it obviously created the man you see in front of you today. But
oh, really? Yeah, I always wonder about that too, because I wanted to go to Murrow. My mother like refused to let me go to Murrow for whatever reason. I do not know why. And then I was miserable in high school and dropped out. And Murrow was like a few blocks from my house.
It was a very similar situation for me.
You might have been miserable in Murrow too and dropped out. You know?
I might have, but it's a different path.
To hang out in the hallways.
it couldn't have been worse. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told the story of why I didn't go to Murrow, right?
No.
I don't
Have I ever told the story? So Madison, the same high school that Darren, you went to, correct?
Correct.
That was my zone school. It was like 2 blocks from my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I went there for like 2 days. I came home and I was like, this place sucks. Oh, no. Wait. I fucked up my own fucking high school story. No, that's not what happened.
Wow.
This is how fucking old I am and removed from my own fucking childhood. Jesus Christ. I got into Bronx Science.
Mm-hmm.
I took the advanced test. Bronx Science is like the second best public high school in New York City. I got in, but I live like fucking 2 hours away on public transit from Bronx Science. I didn't think about that when I was a kid. I was just like, oh, cool. I got into this really good school. I'll go. And after like 2 days of taking the bus there, one of those days I was mugged on the way back from school to the train station. Because it was they didn't drop you off at the school for whatever reason. Like I had to take the train part of the way. It was a whole thing. Anyways, got robbed. I came home.
And we're gonna need a little more in this robbery.
It was pouring rain. I didn't have anything really to give him. I had like $5. But and I don't know if he actually had a gun. He did one of those things where he like has his hand in his pocket and makes.
Oh, you might have mentioned this on the show already.
So I was just like, "Fuck this! I'm not doing this. The commute, it's dangerous." Blah blah blah. I came home one day and I'm like, "I'm not going back there. Get me into a different school. I want to go to Murrow, which is not. It was what was that? Like 20 minutes away from my apartment. Also in Brooklyn, it was like the artsy. It's the school Rob went to. It's the artsy fartsy high school in my part of Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked my mom, like, do what you got to do, get me in tomorrow. She goes there and comes back later that day and says, you can't get in. You're going to have to go to Madison, which was my zone school, which was a couple blocks away. I went to Madison. I didn't drop out, but I was miserable the whole fucking time too. I hated it there. I did meet Lonnie, who's like been my friend for life since then. So that's great. But outside of that, I fucking hated it. Years later, my mom explains to me that I did get into Murrow, but they told her they didn't have any spots in the advanced math program, and that I would just have to be in the regular math program. And without consulting me, my mom was like, "Oh, well, then no thanks."
Oh, that's terrible.
And just
that's brutal.
Sent me to Madison instead.
That's such a Russian parent thing, too, because you really needed that advanced math course.
And
look at how well it treated you.
I don't care about math. I never cared about math.
Exactly.
I never said anything to her about getting me into an advanced math program. I still, to this day, don't know how that even was discussed or came up.
Is it possible she did what my mother did, which was to tell me she was going to get all the paperwork in order and then just not do it?
It's very possible. She'll never admit that to me, probably, but that is also very possible.
I see. So because I don't recall there being any sort of advanced math program in Murrow.
Yeah.
Like the only advanced math program would be like the AP classes, but that starts in junior year.
Yeah, not when you're a freshman. So I don't know what the fuck she was. That's the story I got. And now she's fucking almost, she's a couple weeks away from turning 80. She's not going to remember enough to give me a real story now. So
that's the other thing too. Like I have these things that, these traumatic moments in my life, and sometimes I'll recount them in therapy with my therapist, and she'll be like, "Oh, have you talked to your mother about this?" And I'll try to bring it up, and then I realize like this is such an insignificant moment in her life.
Yeah.
Like like she has no recollection of this one day at the park when we would go every day for like 10, whatever it may be. I'm not saying that was a thing, but it is funny to think that as well. Or like for me, it was that my mom, I really wanted to join this recreational basketball league in the summer that all my friends were going into, and my mom just would not allow me to do it. And I did ask her recently, and she was just like, "Oh, I just didn't think you would follow through on it, so I didn't want to waste the money."
Okay.
And I was just like,
she saved you from disappointing her.
I was just like, how would I have not gone? I was begging you to do this. Like,
that sounds like I didn't want to spend the money, and I don't care if you want to.
Exactly.
I figured it would end up being a waste of money, so I didn't even want to bother.
Yeah,
because I know you, Rob.
At least you guys got excuses. I wanted to go to Murrow.
Was one, but a lot of stuff she doesn't have excuses for.
I just wanted to go to Murrow, and she was like, okay, sure, and then just didn't do it. It didn't do anything, and then didn't tell me anything, and then the time rolled around, and like I just went to my zone school because that's they automatically enrolled you there. And that's it.
Yeah, I'm sure I mentioned on the show before, but that TV production class that Noah and I took, it essentially set me on the path to what became metal injection. Like if I didn't have that class, I would I'm sure I may have found it another way, but it was like, oh wow, this is everything I want to do. It was like the first time I recognized what I would want to do career wise. And
that's what that whole school was all about. It's like it's like career training rather than just going to it's like these other schools in New York City, the public schools, they're like 13th, they're like just the 8th to 12th grade rather than being high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're not really preparing you for anything other than just you go to college and take more classes on stuff.
That is true. And they had all those elective, like you said, the arts programs where you could really bounce around and find something that interests you. Even in, like, for example, there was a huge theater program. Like, there were no organized sports in Murrow, so essentially the theater kids were kind of like the jocks because they were the cool kids. Which, as weird as it sounds, that really was it.
And you were in the theater program too, right?
Yeah. But like, I was definitely on the I was in the top tier of it.
Do you ever think about, like, you were at the perfect high school for young gay sex and you completely fucking missed it?
What I think about is, so there was all of these times where we would be in plays, so we would stay after school long days until like the nighttime. Sometimes come in on the week, like we'd have all this time unsupervised, and all I think about is everyone I was hanging out with. All of us, well, maybe not all of us, but like 80% of us were closeted gay people.
Yes.
all just suppressing it. Like if we all just were like open with each other, it would have been like such a different time.
You wouldn't have any career because you'd have been too busy sucking and fucking.
I vaguely remember talking about porn with
be
another
homeless
guy
now.
who is now. I remember talking about porn with another guy who is now an out homosexual, but at the time we were both closeted, and he I forget what I was talking about. I think we were talking about men in straight porn. Let me try to take it back. And then I mentioned how like, oh, there's always lesbian scenes in these porn, but how come you never stumble on a case? Like just scientifically
like an MMF?
wondering about it. Yeah, something like that. And then he was like, "Oh, well, there's this one thing," and I'm like, "Huh?" And he's like, "Oh, never mind."
I know, that could have been the moment.
Like, yeah, let it slip.
Do you ever think about looking these people up now and just hooking up with them to like fulfill your like childhood curiosities?
Hooking up, the guy I've definitely looked up guys I had crushes on in high school, and sadly, they're all like married. But almost everyone in the theater, yes, to ladies, almost everyone in the theater program though is an out homosexual.
But you didn't have crushes on any of them?
No, I did not. But I was close friends with a few of them.
Tons
And
of
we
gay
didn't
sex.
we didn't share any of this. We kept all of it on the inside. And I do think about that too, because it's like it's such a different time. Whereas now the kids in all those programs, I'm sure if they are gay, they don't have that shame. The stigma isn't there that was there, 25, 30 years ago.
I'll say even more than that. Not only is the stigma not there, I observed this from being in school with like 18 to 21-year-olds. The uncool people are the bigots now among young kids. Like if you are cruel to a gay person or say something off color or whatever about gay people, the straight kids will fuck with you. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, that's unacceptable. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. There's still bigoted people, but they're like in the minority now. It's really weird to see that in a school environment. But you went to school, like you graduated 2000, right? Something like that. What was it like? What was high school like in that time? Was it because when I went to school, it was like verboten to be even intimate or suggest that you might be gay, be ostracized. Like, was it still like that then?
No. I went to a very progressive school. We had it was called the Rainbow Club, so it was like an LGBT club. But it was only lesbians in it, and like studs, like butch lesbians kind of. I just remember
it was still not.
It's always the women that are the
acceptable.
brave ones. Yeah, so it wasn't socially acceptable, but like everyone, the school itself was pro-gay, and in the theater, like there were some kids that were like so flamboyant they couldn't really hide that they were gay, so they were out, I guess. But no, it was still I would say a shameful thing. I mean, I was ashamed, so.
There was none of that shit, and I dropped out of high school in my second year. If I would have graduated, I would have graduated in 1992. So really not that far behind when you would have started. But I dropped out in 1990. There was none of that shit. There was no gay outreach to kids. There was no like counseling offered or anything. Like in college, you see that plastered on every wall. Like if they have free counseling, if you're being bullied, tell somebody and they will go. And that's college, I'm sure in high school it's even more prevalent that they do that.
There was a big thing, like a big anti-bullying thing. I do remember that and going to counselors. And World AIDS Day, I remember having a big impact on me. My friend Lisa would bring in her uncle Joey. And he was the first gay guy I ever met. And it was in the context of World AIDS Day because he had contracted AIDS. And it was actually really sad because, the first year, my freshman year, he came in and he was like full of life. And, you could tell where the story's going. And then by the third, like the second year, it's like, oh, he's a little sicker. And the third year, he could barely stand. And the fourth year, he wasn't there.
Oh man!
So it was very tragic, but it really stuck with me to the point that like every year on December 1st, I always reach out to Lisa. I still keep in touch with her. She's actually a teacher now at Murrow, which I think is so cool.
Wow!
That made me think of that movie Silver Lake Life. I don't know. Did you guys ever see that? It's like a kind of. I know there's like a million movies now about AIDS and like there's always, but that was like really the first one that showed it as a documentary. It just showed this one guy who was in a couple. They both had AIDS, and he just documented. It's just a guy going around with a camera with his boyfriend, and they both just deteriorated. It's really horrifying to watch, but like it was opened up a lot of people to what actually happened. So I think it was like kind of humanized people.
Yeah, it like I said, it had a lasting effect on me, and I think it was so awesome that the school would do that because I think it was very important at the time.
Does Lisa now have you come in on World AIDS Day to sort of close the circle?
Look, now you could take prep. You're fine.
Yeah,
you're fine.
You're
Don't
more
worry,
jacked every year. You're
It's
taking
not a
jujitsu
thing.
now. You're fine.
Yeah.
You can fuck all the assholes you want.
That's what I mean. Like there really wasn't anything. There was no hope back then.
Maybe you could talk to the students about MGen.
What a hassle it is.
It's like, this is why you still got to wear protection, folks. Got to
Yeah.
know who your partners are. Make sure.
Don't go to
everything's
this
tested.
doctor. Go to this other doctor.
What an insult to Uncle Joey that would be. Okay, I am kvetching this doctor's office. It's like a 2-hour wait.
This
falling apart.
I'm withering away because of all the lunches I missed waiting for the doctor.
I gotta pay a copay. What is this?
Every once in a while, I really regret sharing a story on the show. This is one of those times. Come on.
It's a virus. You can't clear in 2024. You can't fix the virus. I gotta pay the deductible. What are you doing to me? You're killing me. I'm a corpse already.
Dorito says Rob's got that. Rob's got that Magic Johnson money. Well, that's the crazy thing about the technology is you don't need Magic Johnson money anymore. You don't need any money. You can get this for free now. So I think that's very great. Although, who knows? Federal funding might get cut.
I was also going to say until the next thing comes out, like bird flu. I was going to say don't step on dog shit. And if you have a cat, I was hearing that dog shit carries bird flu, and bird flu is 60% mortality rate for cats.
Oof.
So don't bring any of your germs from your duty shoes into the house.
Well, I don't do dogs excrement create the bird flu, or they carry bird flu asymptomatically?
I don't know if the dogs get infected or not, but it's supposedly embedded in dog shit. It can be.
Honestly, I think bird flu is really going to come. I'm trying not to spend too much time being paranoid about it, but
they're certainly talking about it in the same way they talked about COVID when we were all like, whatever.
Yeah.
So I expect a bird flu type of summer or something. I'm a little worried about it.
Is that better or worse than Brat summer?
Well, you tell me.
It's the bird flu. It's what's going on with the cows, with the milk recalls.
There's milk recalls?
Yeah, there's some.
Why? What's wrong with the milk?
There's some cow diseases.
Is it turning the frogs gay?
This is why we need the raw milk, folks.
We need to move to China. That's what we need to do.
China.
I drink grass milk.
Is that really the thing?
Delicious. It's a type of milk that, what is it, Organic Valley, I think, makes?
Yeah, well, it's grass-fed. The cows are grass-fed.
I thought you meant it's made of grass somehow.
Oh,
well, they make it out of
also a thing.
I like that. That's if the supermarket has it, that's the one I get. Yeah.
I mean, they make it out of soybeans and stuff, so I don't know.
It definitely tastes the creamiest. I give 2%.
Is there really a grass? You're pulling my leg right now.
No, it's grass-fed.
No, it's grass-fed cows. It's cows specifically fed with grass.
Sid said that, but then I said, I thought it was made of grass, and you said, no. Yeah, that's the one I get. So I thought.
No. I'm saying I get the one that Sid gets.
Rob gets the ass milk.
Oh.
But Organic Valley in general, I do like that brand for milk, for dairy products.
He puts his own milk.
Cheeses.
Can it be our milk?
What? We have a milk.
Deuterino said he drinks the almond milk. I personally think almond milk doesn't, taste-wise, it doesn't work for me. It's a little too watery.
And oat milk, same.
I liked oat milk, but the more I read about it, the more I read that it's less healthy for you than just drinking fucking dairy. So I just switched back.
What are the issues with it?
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot of additives and soy-based stuff in there. And I mentioned previously that my body does not react positively to soy.
Not a soy boy.
So I decided to go back. And it's there's more fat in it than regular milk. It's what's the point?
Even 2%? Can you get a 2%?
A 2% oat milk?
Yeah.
I don't believe so, no.
It's 2% oats and then 98% just actual milk.
We had a presidential death this week.
Oh, yeah.
And I figured who better to eulogize our oldest living at the time president.
Is it Rebecca Moore?
Donald Trump.
No, it's, of course,
Oh!
our colleague, Mike Francesa.
Our colleague.
I just see the breaking news that former President Jimmy Carter has passed away at the age of amazingly 100. I don't know if he's the first president to ever make 100.
He is.
He was not a great president.
He's right. He was not a great president, but he spent the rest of his life making up for what a ghoul he was as a president. So good for him. He felt the guilt.
Even if he wasn't, like, why say this in the eulogy? You know, I don't know.
Look at Mike's teeth in that freeze frame you had. It's
shockingly white.
And just like obviously fake and barely contained in his mouth. It's just wild.
You're bursting there. Would you want to be inside Mike Francesa's face?
Has Rosie O'Donnell aged into Mike Francesa, or has Mike Francesa aged into Rosie O'Donnell?
They look like the same person. It's
unbelievable.
Yeah. And they talk the same. They got the same New York accent.
Back after this, my favorite Mike Francesa tribute Twitter account, AFTA, of course, found this footage from 1991 of Francesa on the CBS Sports New Year's game.
One of the great moments in college football, hearing all those Texas fans sing The Eyes of Texas. I'm joined now by my College Football Today colleague this season, Mike Francesa, who raced out of El Paso after yesterday's John Hancock Bowl to be with us today. I'm glad you made it.
Nice to be here.
Let's talk a little bit about today.
Nice to be here.
He looks like comedian Kevin Meaney.
Yeah. He also looks like Rosie O'Donnell at that time.
Yes.
Game. The Cotton Bowl hasn't produced the national champion since 1978. What road does Texas have to take to get to the national title?
Texas needs a Colorado loss, a Georgia Tech loss, and a win over the Hurricanes. But in my estimation, Miami will provide an immovable roadblock today.
What about Miami? Is there a road the Hurricanes can take?
No, it's a dead end as far as I'm concerned. They would need a tie in the Orange Bowl because
tie in the Orange. His accent is even more New York here, right? This is amazing.
He's honed it down over the years.
Miami needs Notre Dame to win, and if Notre Dame wins, it'll have beaten Miami. They'd have the same record. It'll have beaten number one on New Year's Day. It would jump Miami in the polls. There are 4 teams that can win it. Colorado, Georgia Tech, which may have been bolstered today by the fact that it's been reported that Nebraska suspended 5 players for the game, and of course Texas here and Notre Dame. Those 4 can win it.
So no repeat for the Hurricanes.
The team of the 80s doesn't win it.
Look it up. Every single one of those teams he said was going to win lost. I guarantee you if you check it. Go on, fire up Wikipedia.
And those 5 Nebraska players were suspended because they murdered Matthew Shepard.
No,
they missed 2 games, though, and then they were back on the field. It was fine. It was a different time back then.
Oh, man. Hope they didn't take out Uncle Joey.
Oh, no.
It's awful.
Oh, my God.
Starting the new year off with tasteful humor.
R.I.P. this week for Matthew Shepard. R.I.P. a legend.
And R.I.P. Jimmy Carter.
That too, sure.
He beat George H.W. Bush by 6 years. He outlived that hunk of shit.
That's pretty impressive.
It's crazy now that immediately it's Clinton that's the oldest living president.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was hoping that Jimmy Carter would beat Clinton, but he got sick a few weeks ago.
He had the flu.
Clinton's not doing too hot himself.
Too bad it wasn't bird flu.
Well, give it a little bit.
Yeah. All we need is to have him meet a sexy young bird. We'll fuck that bird and get some flu.
Rob Clinton blowing Ron Jeremy with a bird on his shoulder.
Oh, no.
Oh no!
We could put it in the. Oh,
I just have this ready to go.
It's gonna be like a hall of presidents on his cock. How about Biden and Clinton kissing each other around Ron Jeremy's cock?
Oh no!
And the ice cream.
Deuterino says he'll start photoshopping. Thank you,
Oh, thank you.
I'm trying to generate a Bill Clinton and Ron Jeremy kissing image. I'll let you know if it succeeds.
Oh man, I don't know if we can call that a success if that happens. Rob, you're being replaced by AI here. All your photoshopping.
I'm okay with this. I feel like this is the only positive use case of AI.
What? Making
silly little photoshops like this.
Presidential porn. There's got to be somebody that like.
Why
oh,
does
look out.
Ron Jeremy look like a real life Mario from Super Mario?
I mean, that's sort of what he looks like.
Yeah, I
he
guess
also
that's
looked.
true.
Yeah, I was gonna say, looks like he's the president of a Middle Eastern country in a movie.
I love
Yeah.
that both of them have their eyes closed. It's like
Well,
ultimate trust, honor among thieves. They both know
Yeah.
exactly who they're dealing with, and they want to make this kiss happen.
And they're
just be
bond-
into the moment.
They're bonding over sex scandals. Both cleaned up, both of them, by the way. Neither one of
Yeah,
them looks
this is
naked.
Ron Jeremy in Happier Times.
Both of them. Clinton looks
Well,
like
but Clinton just looks
crypt
like an older version of this. Ron Jeremy is like gray now. He's
Yeah.
changed more drastically.
Yeah.
Dusty Rhodes thinks he looks like Captain Lou
I
Albano.
can see
over
it.
here.
Rob, now it's been well documented that I found younger Hillary Clinton attractive. Do you find the younger Bill Clinton fuckable?
No.
Even like, forget his war criminal. I mean, just his
No,
looks.
just is not my type. No.
Okay, fair enough. The power doesn't attract you. He could be a power bottom. Look at that look. Oh, that's a regret.
No,
That's
they've been caught. Whose arm is that?
Oh, that's Clinton's. He's Dawson.
That's Jimmy Carter.
You know, they're laying on top of Jimmy Carter.
See, you went right to caught, and I can see that. I thought that was the wait. Go back, please, to the other one. I thought that was the waking up with regret face. Like, what do we just do?
This is like, do you remember in The Sopranos when Christopher passes out on top of Adriana's dog and the dog dies? These two had sex on top of Jimmy Carter and then fell asleep and Jimmy Carter suffocated to death.
Imagine you make it to 100 and that's how you fucking die. That's so embarrassing. Jeez. Why was Jimmy Carter even in their apartment? That's...
Oh, no.
I don't know this one.
Perfect.
This is
one
a merge.
yeah, their child.
Oh,
Gross.
oh, AI.
Deuterino wants to know Rob's Mount Rushmore of attractive presidents.
Oh, that's a hard one. They're all so old. I guess like
there was
doesn't
one
have to be still living. It just attractive presidents.
Barack Obama, I guess, is on there. Just
There's
by
one
default.
the one that they say was like so hot, and I can't remember. Is it Franklin Pierce? One of them that everybody says is like the hottest president ever. I might be
like.
I might be wrong on that. I think it's Franklin Pierce.
Looks pretty basic to me.
A metrosexual. Look up the hottest president ever, and I think you'll. I think that is the guy. But that's maybe for his time. You know, that might have been like what the look was. But yeah, Franklin Pierce. He's always on
James
those.
Garfield now. Teddy Roosevelt now.
You got to remember they're dressing in the style of whatever.
And they're old by this point. You want to see them in their prime, not when they're like in their 60s.
And also, Lincoln was not an attractive man. Let's be real here.
And honestly,
Young
neither was
JFK is
JFK.
okay. Yeah.
Be real.
Nah.
Abraham Lincoln was like, I could see him being like an unconventionally attractive person, but like he wouldn't be on any like fucking, top 10 list.
Probably had a huge cock though, just because he was so tall.
Yeah. Is that true, Rob? Does that correlate? I don't mean for you. I mean the men you've seen. I wasn't asking if you have a big cock.
I don't think height does not have a correlation to cock size. No, I've seen some tiny men with some long dongs.
I've heard women say the same thing.
But no, I don't really. U.S. presidents don't really do it for me.
No, so no president. At gunpoint, you got to pick one. Who is it? Obama?
I guess.
Would you
Young
do
Obama,
Justin
maybe.
Trudeau? Do you have other foreign dignitaries that are more
Trudeau's all right.
fuckable?
He's a little closer. Or the French
Macron?
president, Macron. He's handsome.
Angela
He's
Merkel.
a bit more my type.
What about
There's that Jude
Assad?
Law thing.
When he was in charge still.
No.
He's got a dad.
Young Gaddafi was a
Really?
player,
Yeah, he changed his face completely. He got all his Botox and shit. He got plastic surgery happy.
Did Arafat
He
have
looks
that
like
fat
Serge
ass?
Tankian.
Yeah, there you go.
Young Gaddafi.
Oh, young Castro, you might find attractive.
Oh.
Let's see. Oh, I mean, Che Guevara was a a handsome man.
That's even too old already. Where you look, yeah, that's like young Castro.
He's not bad.
He looks sort of like Phil Rizzuto.
Yeah, I see it. Looks a little bit like James Dean, a little bit.
Oh wow.
Hello, Che Guevara.
Oh yeah,
That looks like Zachary Quinto. It's weird.
All these
I wanna see that.
revolutionaries decided to grow beards and stuff. It was like a thing.
The one with him with the cigar looks good.
Yeah, but you got to smell that cigar while you're fucking him. It's not like
That ain't a cigar.
Oh shit.
Well, would that be like a power bottom move to smoke a cigar while he takes a dick in the ass?
Yes. I
It's
think
a
so.
fire hazard.
Would you make him put it out? You got no fucking cigar smoking. You stink. Get out of here.
Come on.
Yeah.
Smoke before sex. That's my rule.
And let's be honest here, get a life.
Oh, I'm sorry. I played That's Funny too, but I meant to play this about the cigar.
Knock this shit off.
Smack the cigar right out of his mouth.
And if you don't like it, get the fuck out.
What a classic monologue. So it's like probably a decade old at this point. So sad.
Yeah, around there, I would say. More, maybe more.
Have we inducted that speech into the Livecast Hall of Fame?
So he's going to be inducted twice, like Ric
Oh,
Flair.
Yeah, he's inducted.
Oh yeah. All right, never.
We
mind.
could do it. I'm not against the idea.
We still have
that is an iconic
Do we have the
speech.
full? Do we have the full audio still?
I do. You want to hear that?
No.
Let's
I'm
hear
just
it.
saying
No,
for the
fun's
purposes
sake.
of Hall
It's
of Fame.
5 minutes.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. That's what I'm saying. If we really wanted to dig down.
I have that, and I have the Stan Lee one and the Lincoln Park one. Remember that?
What about what's his face? Chester Bennington.
Yeah, when he killed himself, and then it was like he started lecturing his friends on what not to say about it, and don't have personal beefs in my Facebook comments. You don't know what I'm talking about.
Has he said anything about Jimmy Carter's passing?
I didn't see it. I have honestly.
Impressive.
I've been remiss in following up on Mark B's rantings. But I honestly kind of got a little disenchanted by it because he doesn't. It's like 99% sports now, or wrestling, if you want to combine that into sports.
It's like the Livecast with bathhouse talk.
Yeah, it's true. but it's interesting when we do it. He's boring as fuck when it comes.
You miss the old Mark B.
I do.
You mentioned Stan Lee. Here's a Francesa tribute to Stan Lee. The classic.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
What's
Hey,
happening?
Mike, Stan Lee died today. Did you ever meet the guy? What do you think of him?
Stan Lee.
Yeah, Stan Lee.
I don't
Never
know
heard
who
of
he
Stan
is.
Lee?
Don't know who he is now.
Jesus.
Who is he?
He's Jesus.
Who is he? Who is Stan Lee?
He was one of the creators of Marvel Comics.
Oh, who cares? Eddie in Hoboken. What's up, Eddie?
Hey, what's up, Mike?
What's
Hey,
happening?
Mike.
You know what's
Stan
the
Lee
best
died
part
today.
about this? Because you want to play it again?
Oh no, I was buzzing.
The clip ends there, but the next like 10 seconds is like he kind of backs off of. He realized that he said something stupid for once, and he's kind of like, okay, look, I never heard of this.
I'm sure it's fine for those people that like it.
Yes, exactly.
The great thing for me is the reaction of the caller, that Jesus, because he's like, I'm going to call one hero to ask him what he thinks about my other hero.
Yeah.
And then to find out that your one hero doesn't even know who your other hero is, his entire worldview
Yeah.
was exploded in that moment.
Sure. Well, to be fair, I'm sure Stan Lee had no idea who the fuck Mike Francesa was either. But
You
one
don't
of
think
us.
that's who the Hulk was based on?
I wish. Little baby 8-year-old Mike Francesa at the time. Inspiration for that. He met him in a fucking wall bounce. He was knocking over avocados and shit. Oh, that's the Hulk. Let me write this out now. One of us should post that Stan Lee clip on Mark B's Facebook and see what he says about it. If he's offended, what do you think?
On the anniversary of Stan Lee's death, be like, "Hey, Mark, what do you think of this? Have you seen this clip?"
That's a good excuse to do it. What day is his death?
Let's see.
I could just lie and say, "Hey, did you know Stan Lee died today? This is the anniversary."
November 12th.
Oh, we missed it.
And his birthday was December 28th, so we missed both.
I could just say happy belated birthday to Stan Lee. Did you ever see this clip? I know you love Stan Lee. Take a look at this.
So this is so creepy. I wrote into the AI generator.
Oh no!
A photo of Mike Francesa on the radio with Bill Clinton and Ron Jeremy, and this is what it. This is what it did. It just gave me. Well, no, not that. This. It gave me two Bill Clintons.
Oh no! That's so creepy.
Why is there one hiding behind the other? And this.
I'm sorry. Can you?
Ron Jeremy's.
They're fucking multiplying.
I like that this Bill Clinton is at least fat like Francesa.
Oh, even the AI will not put Francesa in a picture.
Rob, can we get Mike Francesa at Stan Lee's wake?
Oh, a mouthful of Doritos and Diet Coke.
Asking all the other people at the wake, who is this guy? Why are we here?
I went to this wake. No concessions whatsoever. Bad job. Bad job.
No lasagna.
You got the Stan Lee people. I mean, bad job. Bad
You
job.
even have garlic knots.
No Zeppola.
Speaking of food, Darren, you said you had another fast food run-in.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. I went into McDonald's, and I'm waiting. You know what it is now in fast food places? They don't even look at you unless you have like a delivery backpack on. So you got to go to the kiosk. So, but
yeah, that's the other thing I want to mention. Sorry, Darren, to interrupt you. Is I feel like they've completely done away with ordering from a person. Now, every fast food place has those touch screens. It's kind of it's very dystopian to me. I feel
I had occasion to have to ask someone for help because they had a gigantic sign that had the Big Mac, chicken Big Mac in this, and it has been discontinued and replaced with the McRib at every McDonald's. So I was like, is this just an old sign?
What a downgrade.
Yeah,
and I was like, I would love a chicken Big Mac if this location is still making them, but it's not in the machine. And then maybe I have to ask them and see what's up. So I go up to the counter. And before I get to the counter, though actually no one's coming out. So I'm like, I'm trying to get their attention. And then somebody, probably Rob's height, who I would say is a trans woman, but is the embodiment of Douglas Levison in a 6'5" body. Oh, they never come out. They never ever come out. They never come out. They're so rude in these places. They're so awful. Awful people. Yelling I'm going to say she, I'm assuming. But
Mrs. DiVitelli.
Yeah. Awful people. Like so that they could hear. And then, so the person finally, and that person was there waiting before me. So I let the person be served by when the girl finally came out. And she says, how can I help you, miss? She's like, I got a coupon. Half off of this if you buy this. You have to honor this. Like the person didn't. It's old and it's dirty. It looks like it's got oil stains from sardines on it or something like that. You have to honor this. And she's just making a stink, and I'm like, and then finally they accommodate her. She's like, looks around. She's talking to other people. Like, do you see how they treat people in here? Do you see how they treat people? They say, if you see something, say something. MTA loves to say that. Well, I see something. You people are so rude in this place. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then it's my turn to go. And I tell her the thing about, oh, sorry, sir, the chicken Big Mac is discontinued. It'll come back. And we just didn't take the thing down. I'm very sorry. I'm like, that's okay. I already see what you're dealing with over here, And she just turns her head around. She has stepped a few steps away. And I said, I don't want to order anything because now it's, the thing I wanted, they don't have it. So I'm on the way walking out and I go, hey, can I just say something? It's not my business, but you walk in here like a tornado talking about how everybody's being rude. You are the rudest motherfucker in this building. And you're treating people like shit. Maybe people are responding to you rudely because you're presenting a rudeness. And she goes, you are right. It isn't any of your fucking business, and why don't you shut your fucking mouth and mind your own fucking business? And then this is another side note. There's some black kids over in the corner, like 16, 17, like, oh shit, a fight! Oh shit, a fucking fight! And I walk over and I go, no, it's not a fight. I wanted to go on camera because they're recording.
They were ready for World Star.
Yeah. And they go, oh, no, these two guys fighting right over here. And then it was like two guys actually fighting over there. And I was like, oh shit. And I look in the camera and I'm like, oh, that's a much more interesting fight. I apologize. No, you good. So I walk back. Go ahead. More.
Perfect New York story.
I'm still dying yet, and you're right. You should mind your fucking business.
I mean, I couldn't help myself.
She had me for like half a second of like, oh, she's like she's being self-reflective. She sees.
No, yeah, I got that too. Nope. So I'm on the way out, and then she scans me up and down one more time, and she goes, and I'm out the door, halfway out the door. She goes, oh, and the Mets fucking suck. Fuck you. No. Had a Mets same hat on. Fuck the Mets, Steve Cohen, and you want to fucking steal all the players? Why don't you give Steve Cohen a fucking reach around, you fucking jerk off? Fuck you. Why don't you go Steve throat his dick and all this stuff? And then of course, I have to go turn around and go back in the store.
and you told those kids, all right, turn the camera around. Now they're
lights, camera, action. I'm about to roast this fuck. No, actually, I was very restrained. And I said, ma'am, we are 2 months away from even a pitch being thrown, and you're at this level of anger, you're going to have a very bad season. You got to pull back. Just pace yourself. You're going to be angry at the Mets for a long time. Just meet it out, like, slowly. Shut the fuck up. You love fucking Steve Cohen. Why don't you go fucking gangbang him and eat his asshole? And la, 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 la. She gave me the Douglas Levison about the Mets and Steve Cohen, but inserted gay sex into it.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I left. I was like, "That's it. I said my piece. You can." And I still saw her through the windows, hopping up and down angrily, without the sound, like in a movie.
Which McDonald's was this?
It was Avenue U and Coney Island Avenue.
Oh, I've been to that McDonald's plenty of times.
Oh, that's a legendary.
Glad to know
McDonald's.
they finished their renovations.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
They should have renovated her out of there.
What was the other fight? Did you catch what the other fight actually was?
Here's the funny thing: they were standing still because when I got over there, I think everything just stopped to be like, "What's this guy gonna fucking do and say now?" So I didn't see anything that was going on. It was just two guys leaning against each other against a wall.
So maybe they were making out.
The kids were saying, "Look at this fight." So that's look at that. They're gonna fight, or they're fighting. It indicated to me the language they used, that they were in the midst of fighting. I didn't see it.
Do you think this video is somewhere on YouTube that these kids shot, where there's like a little bit of you and this person screaming?
So. I wouldn't know where to begin to look for it. That's the thing. Maybe like McDonald's Avenue U.
I'm looking at McDonald's fight. And when did this happen, Darren?
Oh, within the past week. It was after the last show we did.
All right, so let's see. McDonald's fight this week.
There's probably 9 trillion of those.
I'm doing McDonald's Brooklyn.
You find it? Anything?
I'm not seeing.
Oh man, I really want you to see this person I was yelling at. Or being yelled at by. I didn't really yell at all.
Sad.
Oh my god.
She even looked like a little bit like Douglas Levison. Not quite as deformed, but like that same Brooklyn kind of look. Same voice 100%. But really, just imagine Douglas Levison stretched out.
You're right. You should have mind your fucking business.
What a story.
Oh my goodness. and then giving Steve Cohen a reach around.
So you're fucking the owner of the Mets in the ass.
I guess
He's not even fucking the fan base. We're fucking him.
I
He's
think
the
I'm
bottom for us.
Well, I'm just so subservient that I give him the reach around without even fucking him. I'm just such a. I'm
So
just
you're
a,
just jerking him off.
a hand job.
He doesn't
Yeah.
want eye contact. Okay.
Yes.
I can see that. It's less gay if you're not looking the other man in the face while he jerks you
Just
off.
stand behind.
That's how his wife allows it. She's like, you can't, just don't look at him. No
Yeah.
kissing.
Right, but that was so specific. It feels like that's her canned like insult for Mets fans.
I guess
That
so.
it just came right out like that. The first just from seeing a hat. Like, dude, the fuck you got? How are you going to maintain that level through another 2 months of the off season and 6 months of a season and the playoffs? Hopefully.
I mean, it seems like this person has this level for just every interaction. So maybe this is the only level they can grasp.
Well, did you find yourself a little thrown off by the heat that she was giving you? You had to like calibrate for a second. You're like, what?
Yeah. I mean, I already knew this was a volatile and possibly mentally ill person from the way she was talking to the McDonald staff, but I did not expect the Mets thing. That really that came out of left field. No pun intended.
Wild.
Wonderful. What a wonderful person. We hope the person is doing well, getting the treatments that she is required.
Just found a McDonald's that would accept that coupon.
Yeah.
How about that? Let's just have that.
Found a place away from rude people.
Rob, do you want to share this thing that Noah passed on to you this week?
All right.
Noah is doing show prep for us, even though she's not on the show. She sent Rob a link that she thought would be good for the show.
She sent this Instagram story. Here's the thumbnail. It says, farting helps reduce high blood pressure and is good for your health.
Makes sense for me.
I love this.
With a picture of a woman holding her ass.
I love, like a great...
I've never farted like that. Is that I've never seen a woman fart like
You've
that.
never spread your butt cheek to fart, get a good fart out? Like
I'm afraid I'll shit.
I think you're reading this all wrong. I think she's like, this is the what not to do, and she's holding the fart in.
Oh, she's physically covering her hole.
Yes. And also, Rob, are you offended by this lazy photoshopping? It's just like a circle of the most stock blood pressure device.
It's a collage.
Very
this
poor.
person definitely does not see. I agree. Well, like here, it's how do you have to get across farting with stock photos while still being kind of classy. I think they did an okay job.
It's not so much
the insert is to indicate the high blood pressure.
Why is it over her like thigh? I don't. It doesn't look right to me. I don't know.
Well, where else would you have placed it?
Yeah, where would the blood pressure placement be?
I don't know.
Behind the butt.
Higher?
I feel like it should be more of like kind of a
like in this area.
No, like she should not be taking up. So this is such a pointless thing to talk about, but like she should be not taking up so much of the photo, and that thing should be off of her body in the corner and big enough.
It should be more of a 50-50 split.
Yes.
Screen here.
Yes, she's 100% of the screen, and then a thing is superimposed on it.
Right. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Well, did you know farting can be healthy? This is from the Instagram account Nature the Cure. Turns out passing gas isn't just natural, it might also be beneficial. Some studies suggest that releasing gas can help reduce high blood pressure and support overall health. The ever exciting some studies.
Yeah.
While it might sound funny, this bodily function plays a key role in maintaining a healthy digestive system and reducing bloating. So next time nature calls, remember, it's your body doing its thing. All right.
Awesome.
Sure. I'm all about farting, obviously.
Yeah.
We're very pro farting here.
Yeah. Oh, man. The goat farts that I was expelling the other day. They've just kind of subsided, like the last 36 hours, I would say. Finally. They're still there, but less offensive.
Dormant.
And I'm not usually affected by goat. Honestly, everyone says goat makes you shit. Indian food makes you shit. My body handles it great. I'm very regular after Indian food. Not this time. This time was like the shit express.
It's got to be
Maybe
like
it's been so
restaurant by
long.
restaurant.
Yeah, maybe so. But actually, I've eaten at that restaurant many times, and I didn't have a problem. Maybe one other time.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm
Well,
extremely
let's talk
regular.
about our Spotify picks.
Oh,
Each
all right.
week we each
Sorry.
pick a song. We throw it on a playlist called the RIP Livecast Music Break. Give us a search on Spotify. You could find it. There's a lot of songs, a lot of music for your ears. In fact, there are 773 songs and 51 hours and 48 minutes of music. My pick this week, it's from the band Nevermore.
Noah
the
favorite.
guitarist, yeah, a Rob favorite as well. The guitarist, well, Noah probably likes them more than I do. I'll give her that. The guitarist of the band, Jeff Loomis, this week, along with the drummer, Van Morrison, announced that they're bringing the band back, which is weird because the singer died a few years ago. And the bassist doesn't seem to be involved. And it's like already there's drama about it. But it did make me go back and listen to this album, which is just so good. This is like one of the first like underground metal albums I was getting into, like when I was trying to go beyond just new metal. And so Dead Heart in a Dead World is the album.
And it's about the lead singer?
And this is the opening track, Narcosynthesis.
Wait, Van Morrison is in Nevermore?
Van Williams was his name?
Brown-eyed
Van
girl?
Williams. No. Van Williams, that's his name. Van Morrison.
Oh, okay.
I knew I messed that up. All
Van
right.
Vader.
Because
Big
he's still
Van Vader.
alive, I think, Van Morrison. I was like, maybe he's branching out.
What's interesting, we've talked about this on the show. I was listening to this album at the gym, Dead Heart in a Dead World, and they do a cover of Sound of Silence on this album. And
Did
we
they do
played
a
it at
better
the
job?
time. 100%. I don't think you guys liked it, but it was at least they put their own spin on it. You know, it sounds like a Nevermore song, and they did a way better job than Disturbed did, and it's like a fun, heavy version of Sound of Silence. But
Sounds vaguely familiar.
yeah, we played it at the time of the Sound of Silence cover, but really love Nevermore, so check them out. That's my pick. Sid.
I had an epiphany earlier this week, and it was an issue that I realized needed to be rectified immediately. And that was that somehow, in all the years we've been doing this playlist, I never put My Neck, My Back on the fucking playlist.
What?
Well, you know what? My Neck, My Back is now on the fucking playlist. You're welcome, America.
Awesome.
Oh, you ladies pop your pussy like this.
Diaz.
Like this.
Darren,
I think it is this. Actually, I was right. I forgive me. I think you were right. I think she says this, and the Diaz is in another part of the song. So I retract my statement.
Do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Now. Lick it good. This pussy just like you should. Okay. I'm gonna change my pick to My Neck, My Back. All three of them.
2010, that album? No, that came out way before 2010.
You know, this is like a remix, but I think 03?
2002. 2002. Okay. April 2002. Wow.
Okay. So I started listening to some Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, and Crosby, Stills, and Nash minus Young. And when I was a kid, I always used to I used to always hear it on the radio and be like, this is like old people music because, you know, it was all the hits are like folky rock song. You know what I mean? And I would hear it also as a teenager, like at the end of the Howard Stern show, I would just leave the radio on and it was a classic rock station. So they play all these very cliched, like, you know, very soft rock type of hits from them. And I started for one reason or another. I don't know why, maybe from YouTube, I got more into like deeper cuts. And they're kind of rock. I mean, it's not thrash metal, but like they have some very heavier shit.
Hard rock, little hard
yeah,
rock
not even. I would say like pop rock, but it's like almost like very slow, you know, like crunchy guitars and stuff. It's very like not poppy, is what I would say. So I played one of those songs, which actually was one of a bigger hit of theirs called "Almost Cut My Hair," which I really enjoy, and it's like more of what I've been open up to in the CSNY. So I encourage anyone to look into this very fun new band that you may not have heard of. I want to put some attention on them and get
All
their
the
name
kids
out
are
there.
listening to these boys.
I do like to open up the vault every now and then because look at some stuff that I always took for granted and thought was cliche or whatever, and then I've actually started getting into them, and I'm like trying to explore all the 93,000 albums that they put out. So.
Well, they didn't put out that many with Neil Young, right?
Right. I think 3. I want to say. Am I wrong on that?
I'm not sure, but I know mostly it's just the other 3, and that I think is less good.
Yeah.
And more like just adult contemporary type, which is fine for what it is, but I think the Neil Young stuff has more edge.
Have you gone into their catalog?
Not super deep, just the Neil Young stuff primarily.
Okay. Well, I'm progressing through it now, so I'll let you know what I think.
Thank you.
All right. And of course, if you need yourself a little more Livecast or you want to show your support, drop $1 in the tip jar vis-a-vis our Patreon. Patreon.com/RIPLivecast. If you donate $4 or more a month, you get access to our bonus episodes. Every month we release a brand new bonus episode exclusively for patrons. This month, very excited about our release. One of my favorite things we've done. We did a watch-along of this documentary that you can watch on Prime called Bigorexia, inspired by finding that dude who's friends with Tim Lambesis, who just looks like a fucking blown-up balloon of a muscle guy. He's in the documentary. He is remarkably self-aware in the documentary, and very expressive of his insecurities too. It's very interesting. Like he's fully aware of what he's doing and why he's doing it.
And it's like a self-awareness, but he doesn't want to change necessarily. He's not like, I wish I didn't feel like this. It's just like, this is how I feel. Yeah, it's all right.
Cool.
He's one of a few people that are profiled in this documentary that just have this compulsive need to grow bigger. Like bigorexia would be the antithesis to anorexia. And there's one person profiled in particular that I was just blown away. I was transfixed about, no pun intended, because it was a trans bodybuilder, and she was talking about the struggle between wanting to be the biggest possible physically and also wanting to look feminine and having to have a balance of how big she could look while still being able to present as her true feminine self. And then you have some of these other bodybuilders in the documentary interviewed about this woman saying really dumb transphobic things when then not 20 minutes later saying, who am I to say what somebody could put in their body or how someone wants to live their life when it's about, steroids and gender affirming care for men as opposed to for trans people. So it's a very interesting documentary, and we had a really good time watching it, riffing on it, and learning a few things.
And there is a gore warning on it, by the way.
Oh yes.
Oh.
Yes,
shit.
it is just unbelievably explicit. Some of the most explicit visuals we've ever broadcast on the show. So
and we watched Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
This is right up there.
right up there. And so check that out. Patreon.com/RIPLivecast. $8 a month. Top Livecast fan of the week. Darren, could you roast these people as this trans Yankee fan in the McDonald's who these our top Livecast fans came up to this person telling them they were rude?
Benjamin, if you want a quarter pounder with cheese, you gotta wait in line. I was here first, you clueless dickbag. Get on, shush. Those sound like very foreign names. I don't know where you think you are. This is New York City. We don't allow immigrants here.
Get out.
Get out. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. Lando Danks, you sound like butter. I don't like butter on my Big Mac. Get out of here. Get out of here. LaCroix, Corey, and Scotty H, you are three extremely rude people, and you sound like trumpet players. People are trying to get home and stop off and have a little McDonald's and then go to their domiciles. Screw you. Aaron and Mr. Schmertzler. Now, Mr. Schmertzler, you sound like someone I can relate to because I am extremely Jewish, if you couldn't tell. But Aaron, you sound like an Irish person. Put on your friggin' tam o'shanter and give Steve Cullen a reach around. Douglas, who are you, Levison? You and I might be related, so I'm not going to roast you. Slinkies, what the fuck? Go fall down a fucking flight of stairs like a slinky, you piece of shit. You garbage human being. Gender, I'm not even going to mess with you. You sound like some kind of a Viking or some shit. You might come here and stick a sword through my back. And Randy Black, don't get me started. All these Russians taking over our neighborhood. They're so rude. They're so rude. Go fuck yourself.
Awesome. All right, folks. That's our show. We're back next week. Hopefully there's no more bombings. We didn't even talk about that Cybertruck bombing, but that's all right.
You referenced it in the Bland intro.
Yeah, all these military people leaving the military causing domestic terrorism. No big deal.
I remember I first also quickly came to start listening to Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young was because Weird Al has a style parody of their music, and it's like done in the style of the lyrics are all like corporate buzzword speak, like monetize our assets, monetize, that kind of thing for the whole song, and it's very cool, and he nailed it. So I guess YouTube started showing me the real band, and I kind of got sucked into it. But anyway, check both of those things out.
Folks, that's our show. Until next week, we love you. We kiss you. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy my birthday.